Chapter 6, Holographic Human Transformation Health. Holographic Human Systems and Organs, Holographic Learning Systems. As a whole system, humans experience learning, gaining skill, and knowledge through every system, aspect, and regularly interacting with interdependent groups of items, forming the system's unified whole. The human system has a number of systems as groups of interacting bodies under the influence of related forces for the whole system. Groups of body organs and systems that together perform one or more vital function for the body, even considered as a functioning unit into itself. Many different individual systems working together for the whole of the system. Each different system having its own nature and function, with other different systems interrelating interdependently with the other systems. Each system knowing its own nature and functions, and knowing the nature and functions of the system it works with. Holographic, one part of each system has a pattern of the whole. Human beings are whole systems, and each aspect of the human system has its own intelligence and function, and shares this with other related and interrelating systems. Learning for human beings is holographic, and sharing the knowledge learned is holographic through other systems of the whole system. Holographic is interactive, and with its own system and with its environment. Holographic health system. Holographic human health. Right side. Auditory sound. Respiratory. Pride. Quality or state of being proud. Inordinate self-esteem. Delight or elation arising from some act, possession, or relationship. Proud or disdain behavior or treatment. Disdain. Synonyms. Arrogant, haughty, lordly, overbearing, showing scorn for inferiors. Antonyms: modesty, humble, freedom from conceit or vanity, propriety in dress, speech, conduct, no pretense, humility, unpretentiousness. Proud, excessive self-esteem. Exultant, glorious, lordly, overbearing, claiming for self more. Consideration or importance that is warranted. Suggests a consciousness or superior birth or position. Patronizing haughtiness. Antonyms: informal, absence of ceremony, formality, characteristics of casual, familiar use. Righteousness, acting in accord with moral law, free from guilt or sin. Morally right or justifiable. Arising from an outraged sense of justice or morality. Synonym: moral excellence, integrity, virtue. Antonym: turpitude. Lung, asthma, bronchitis. Tactile, touch. Circulatory. Dependency, something that is dependent on something else. Addiction, habituation, dependence. Antonym: you. Self-authority, combining form, oneself or itself. Authority, a citation used in defense or support. The source from which the citation is drawn. Power, the group in power. Antonym: governed. Victimization, to make a victim of, subject to deception or fraud, cheat. Heart, skin, angina, mourning, migraine, hypertension. Gustatory, taste. Digestive, insecurity, greed, powerlessness, timidity. Gluttony, fear of death, depression. Digestive, shock, cold, flu, blood, anemia, circulation. Left side, visual sight, nervous, wrongness, self-righteous. Nervousness, eyes. Energetic energy, muscular, skeletal. Anger, rage, envy. Spine, arthritis, guilt, anorexia. Olfactory smell, reproductive, lust, desperation, shame. Reproductive, urinary, menstruation, elimination, prostate. Plummeting of the associated corresponding loses parts of the plummeted. Corresponding system negative occurs and waves. Physics laws, holographic human transformation theory is based upon wholeness. Wholeness Principle. The unifying force which holds us together, inner unification, comes from the macro system to live and grow. What we resist persists. This force promotes integration of all our parts, so what we resist persists. Wholeness Principle is nature's way of keeping the system whole and restoring the system to wholeness when it is in need. This is a natural ability to attain the entirety of a person's natural development from birth to death. Every living person has strengths and abilities that have a function and a time for their development. These have their own intelligence and know their function and the time their development is necessary. Wholeness Principle will bring things naturally into our lives to bring these functions and developments into their potential in our life. Oftentimes, this comes about by struggles and challenges to us, putting us into a situation of growing or failing. We always have choice as to our response to the challenges. We do not, however, have a choice in whether or not we have a true, natural potential for growth. This choice of growing came with our choice to live. Our abilities were already within us, and they are a true and natural part of our whole being. The challenge does not just disappear nor go away till we recognize and train these potentials, their unifying force in order to be a part of the system, and will continue to show its head. Integration. To make whole. This works due to both unity and correspondence principles and the reality and the wholeness principle. This is about finding a function for things in our lives and aspects of ourselves whose differential is known in the whole system. Integration may involve coordination of mental, emotional, and behavioral processes into a normal, effective personality or with the individual's environment and circumstances. Integrity. The condition of being whole or complete. To integrate is the process of making whole. Integrating exists because the structure and processes of natural systems are unified in ways that cause parts to work together in parallel based on similarity and correspondence, the natural self. Even when aspects are very different from the whole, these aspects are still a part of the whole and must be integrated into the whole system. Again, you cannot hide or ignore these aspects. Unity plays a role in differing aspects, and parts of the system may need to adjust to integrate the deviating aspects. A whole living system must be open to continual growth and change to remain a healthy living system. Constant growth, continual change, new aspects of oneself being recognized and developed to the greater good of the whole system. Integrations. Concepts, principles, and models work together. All functions, program models, and elements of being human must integrate with all the growth in our lives, all the change, challenge, and dreams. Our thoughts must integrate with our feelings, and our behaviors integrate with our thoughts and feelings. This is a process of nature, and each aspect of our being will change and fight if other aspects of our being are not integrating with the whole being. Changing and growing is a natural process of life, and these principles work to assure that this happens. When we are responding holographical, our concepts, program models, functions, and elements all changes as a whole system, and we grow, develop, and change. When we try to resist this natural change process, the whole system deteriorates and the whole being becomes dysfunctional. This is a natural process. It is a part of nature, and it is capable of taking the whole system to a state of total chaos and destruction to start all over again. Change is not easy. A simple example of thoughts, feelings, and behavior integrating together is to do the following experiment. Sit comfortably and fold your arms. Fold them just the way you always fold your arms. Leave them folded and notice the way you have folded them. Notice if the right arm goes up and into the left arm. Notice if both hands are in or one in and one out. Notice exactly the way you have folded your arms. Now notice the way you are thinking with your arms folded this way. Notice the way you are feeling with your arms folded this way. Are you thinking and feeling okay? Confident? Secure? Now, noticing the way you have your arms folded, Fold your arms completely opposite of the way they are folded. Notice now what you are thinking and how you feel. Changing one aspect of our being changes another aspect of our being. This is repetitive and is a simple example of the process of integration and holographic human transformation theory. If one aspect of the system changes, other aspects must integrate and change also. Otherwise, your arms fold differently and your thoughts and feelings stay uncomfortable until you put your arms back the way your thoughts and feelings are familiar with being. Wholeness Principle, the unifying force which holds us together, inner unification comes from the macro system to live and grow. What we resist persists. This force promotes integration of all parts. We all have great ability and potential regardless of our life's challenges and struggles. Each part of our inner being seeks to become a part of our whole being. This is also true in other whole systems, such as families. Each child, parent, an aspect of them as individual seeks and desires to become a part of the wholeness of the family. When the family resists this, it doesn't just go away quietly. It continues to seek other ways to make the family integrate into the system with all the other aspects of the family. Your personal potential will continue to affect your wholeness until your whole being, your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, your past, present, and future, until all aspects of your whole accepts the potential and integrates it into the whole of you. You cannot avoid the unavoidable. You cannot run, hide, ignore yourself, and maintain any wholeness of self. Integrate exists because structure, patterns, and processes of natural systems are unified in ways that cause parts to work together, in parallel through the laws of similarities and correspondence. Integration of concepts. Principles and models working together. Elements are interrelating and interdependent without deviation or change, as in purpose of action from the beginning. The key with unity and deviation to wholeness and integration is maintaining original purpose of your action from the beginning. Whatever purpose you begin a goal for is the key to integrating the goal into the whole of your being. Unity in physics is the unifying aspects of naturally integrating systems with a quality or state of being multiple, a multitude of different elements and systems coming together and making the whole of one system. This is the way the human system works, whether body organs, separate systems within different organs, and everything must come together and work as one for the whole system to function well. Reality Principle. We do not know the difference between real or imagined. Reality Principle for the person with 6 senses. Resources are implied and not talked about in the Reality Principle. The body teaches the mind about the resources. Sometimes other things need to be addressed first in the Reality Principle. So what it is they would prefer as their reality doesn't change because of a thing they do. If the Reality Principle isn't working, something else must be done first before the reality can occur. Reality Principle begins with our not knowing the difference between present, past, future, or a vivid imagined experience. The law of correspondence and unity makes reality work. Reality Principle is about our state of actual existence in the real world and the way we perceive and experience it. Taking time and making effort to perceive and experience your existence may change your reality. Holographic human transformation theory, the way we develop program models, paradigms, world, and self-views. Program models, paradigms, world, and self-views are all developed as a whole system working together as one complete system. Compilations of sensory data, memories, and conscious responses repeated and interacting in the subconscious with other data and program models. It is never just one experience, never just one belief, never just one thing to create the whole of any given system. And in turn, every aspect of the system is a representation of the true of the whole system. In turn, changing any one aspect of any system within the whole system will have a holographic effect on the rest of the whole system. This is a natural process and the nature of the way systems are structured, patterned, and processed with any given system. Fact. 1. Humans are natural. The characteristics of being human are based upon an inherent sense of right and wrong and are in accordance with and by nature. Human beings have a constituting classification based upon features existing in nature. 1. Humans are systems. Characteristics of being human are based upon the whole of the human being, the interdependent relationship of a group of items forming a unified whole. Human characteristics are based upon the number of different systems in a group interacting under the influence of related forces. 2. The human system is composed of parts and elements. This system is formed by putting together indefinite or unequal subdivisions into which something is or is regarded as divided and which together constitutes the whole, all being an essential portion of an integral element of the whole system. This human system composition includes physical elements such as air, water, fire, and earth, and constituted parts of principles of the state or sphere natural to and suited to a person's state of being. System of entity or aggregation of elements or parts that form a complete whole or totality. Systemic error is an error that is not determined by chance, but is introduced by an inaccuracy as or observation or measurement inherent in the system itself. The system must constantly change and be aware of these errors. Resisting will only cause the error to persist. The three elements of being human: 1. Mind. 2. Emotion. 3. Body. The totality oneness of being human consists of the following three elements. 1. Element mind. The function of the human mind is to take all the data from the environment and the internal response to the data, process it, and find or make a file to store it and make a program model out of the data. The human mind is a complex of different elements in an individual for thinking, perceiving, and reasoning. 2. Element emotion. Emotions works closely with the human brain for feelings such as anger, joy, and fear. Feelings are oftentimes subjective and associated with something specific such as an event or individual. Emotions are chemical responses associated with the limbic system in the human brain. 3. Element body. The human body is the mass of substance and systems that distinguishes humans from other living systems. Some of the different systems the body is comprised of is the skeletal system, muscular system, and the overstructures of our physical being. These primary beginning elements from the state of our natural being. These three elements of being human must correspond with each other, interrelating interdependently based upon the laws of similarity, unity, and correspondence. When they are not, we are not whole beings. We are dysfunctional in all three elements. Universal law or principle, similarity, and correspondence. Based upon the physics of correspondence, things that are similar are managed by adding something into the situation or circumstances. Problems arise in many aspects of our lives, and some problems are similar and some problems are deviating. Similar simply means that the problems have occurred before or can just be something that can go wrong regarding a part of life. Add into as it pertains to the origin or original of the difference, not adding randomly. There are many examples and ways of applying this law. One is regarding as a sensory block. If the sense of sound has a block, add more sound experience into your environment. When problems, blocks, or negative circumstances happen within the environment, expand upon the same area as what the problem, block, or circumstance is about. Another example, if a lack of confidence reflects in the environment, add something of more confidence into the environment. This law of similarity and correspondence is a law of physics, and this is the law of principle of dealing with similar problems in an environment. Taking similar and adding it into the environment keeps the nature of all the parts and processes resonating as one whole system. What we resist persists. Fighting the problems, the differences, or anomalies causes greater dysfunction and lack of balance. Correspondence. Nature having parts or process at any level of the same shape or form resonate as one. This is nature's agreement between things with one another regarding similarities and a relation between sets in which each member of one set is associated with one or more members of another set. Function and purpose of the associated elements is the nature of correspondence. Principle of correspondence. Similar parts change together. Example, 2 electrons. When one changed its spin, the other one changed also. Human systems, 3 basic functions. 1. Basis of identity or personality. Identity is a sameness of purpose even when added to or multiplied by another element. The combination leaves each element unchanged even when combined for any specific purpose of the whole. This is our personal existence and represents the quality or state of being a human being. Identity is a complex of characteristics that distinguishes an individual, making the totality of an individual's mental, behavioral, and emotional characteristics. 2. Communication and information processing functions. Human beings transmit information through every aspect of their whole system. This is a process of information exchanged between individuals through common systems of symbols, signs, behaviors, and movements. 3. Creation. Human beings, by their very nature, can bring the world into ordered existence, making, inventing, and producing representations of their own roles. These include things of a physical existence as well as intellectual.